Hi children, how are you? I hope you are very fine and good morning to everyone. Okay, today I am going to start the next topic, that is types of joints. Okay, so there are different types of joints are there. What are they? The hinge joint, pivot joint, ball and socket joint and gliding joint. Okay, so today's topic is about the joints. Do you know children, where are the joints are attached? Where are the joints? See, here two bonds are there. This is the first bond, this is the second bond. So here this is a joint where the two bonds are combined. That is called as a joint. Okay, it is a point of meeting of two bones. Okay, now let us come to the first joint, that is pivot hinge joint. Where you find the hinge joint? Okay, I will show you how the hinge joint is. Works. Okay, are you seeing this door? Are you seeing this door? Here it is attached here. Okay, so when I am just closing this door, see, I am closing this door. Okay, I am opening and closing this door. Yes, here this joint is one at fixed and the door is moving here and there. Same in the hinge joint also, one is fixed and one can move here and there. I will show you how. Okay, if you can see here this joint. Okay, here in the palm it can move. Yes, here in this type of elbow is there, so it can move this side, it can move this side, it can move front, it can move this much. It cannot go back. Yes, it cannot go back. Only one movement. See here, only one movement here there. Okay, so this is type of joint is called as hinge joint. Okay, this type of joint is called as hinge joint. Okay. So next one is pivot joint. Where you can find the pivot joint? Here in the skull. The next at the back, two vertebrae. The first two vertebrae and the skull. That is here it is joined as a pivot joint. Okay. The first vertebrae of the spine is also called as atlas. So in the exams you can ask that what is a atlas? The first vertebrae of the spine is called as atlas. Okay. Now pivot joint here, see, you can from your face you can move up, down, right, left. You cannot here turn 180 around. Okay, and you cannot see it back. So where the joint you can find only this type of movement, that is called as pivot joint. Okay. The most important of it is skull. Here it is the skull and the vertebrae is joint. Okay. Now next one is called as ball and socket joint. Okay. So when you are, if you see the ballet dancers, how they are in one place and they are moving all around. So what you can imagine that which type of bone is working as it is. Okay, so what is that joint? You can see here your knee joint. See, you can find whole it is moving totally here. Here it is the joint, it is attached and it is revolving all around. Do you see our shoulder joint? See, it can move from see, it is moving from one place to another. You can keep like this. Okay, up and down also. Okay, so this type of the shoulder joint is also called as ball and socket joint. Why it is called as ball and socket joint? Suppose this is a ball. And this is the socket. It is attached into this and it can revolve. See, this can revolve all around. This can revolve all around. This is the ball. Here it is the socket. That is called as ball and socket joint. Okay. The examples are the knees and the shoulder. Okay. So last one is the gliding joint. If you can see the gliding, see your skull, this movement like this. Okay. Your hands glides. How birds are flying like this. This is gliding. Okay. And the toes also, it can glide like this. Okay, so that is gliding joint. Okay, in which one bone is attached and here the toes are and fingers are attached, it can glide. See this movement, okay? This type of joint is called as gliding joint, okay? I hope children you can understand all these types of joints, okay? One more thing is types of muscles. As I have already explained you the types of muscles, like there are two types of muscles, okay? Voluntary, involuntary. Before going to that, we are considering what are muscles. But muscles, they are attached with strong fibers and they are called as tendons, okay? They are called as tendons, okay? Now, do you know children how many types of muscles are there? There are different types of muscles are there and there are more than 650 muscles there in our body, okay? And even if we smile also, there are 14 to 15 muscles taking place, moving at one time, okay? If we are blinking our eyes also and I am moving my hands also, these are examples of moving of muscles, okay? Tendons have their own property to how the strong fibers are attached to our muscles, okay? They are called as tendons. And what is the importance of tendons? They are helping in our body to move, okay? And they are strongly attached to the fibers, okay? So if they are not fiber, we can move very simply, okay? Even though joints are fixed. So that is the reason tendons are very important to fix into the joints, okay? Now children, here in this, see these are the how the muscles are, how do muscles work, okay? Muscle produce the movement in the body by pulling the bones. When the muscle contracts, the bones come too close to each other. When the knee bends, one muscle contracts and gets shorter, whereas the other relaxes. Where the leg stretches, the reverse happens. Well-developed muscles give a graceful appearance to the body, okay? To keep our muscles in good shape, we must maintain a good posture while we sit, stand or walk, okay? So what you can understand by this para? See, when the joints are, how the muscles are working, okay? So when the see here, suppose here the muscles are there. When the bones are relaxed, then muscles are contract. Then when the muscles are contract, the bones are relaxed. And how the movement is taking place? When suppose you are stretching this arm like this, it means these muscles are they are very expanding, and here they are contracting. Here it is contracting means here it is expanding, okay? So how this is vice versa is going on. And do you know children, for our body we have to take care of our body, okay? So by making healthy, by doing exercise and by taking a healthy diet, so we can maintain our body. If we have to stand, we have to stand properly. If we have to walk, then we have to walk properly. If our gestures and postures are not okay, it means our muscles are not working. Do you see that so many people are not sitting straight? But you have to sit straight, okay children? That is the thing, okay? I tell you, see here in the back side our spine is present, okay? The first two vertebrae, they are very important because they are attached to the skull, and the skull is very important. It protects our brain. Yes, so all the nervous system is attached to the spinal cord. Okay, now let us see. Here you have to learn all the words. Okay, vertebra, each small bone of the vertebral column. Okay, next, bone marrow, the soft spongy material inside the cavities of the long bones. Suppose, what is a bone marrow? They are saying here it is a bone, here it is a bone. Inside the bones, it's not hollow. Okay, it's not hollow. Always the bone marrow is present, and which secretes the fluid to maintenance our movements. Okay, to maintain our movements. That is the reason do you know that helps into movement of body. Okay, and why it is important? How this fluid is secreting? When we are taking the calcium, which is rich in calcium, whether they are eggs, whether they are curd, whether they are milk, so they are giving us calcium. If we are under the sunlight, it is giving us calcium, and that helps in produce the fluid. Okay, and that is bone marrow. Ligaments, strong tissues that bind the bones at a joint. see, ligaments. Where are the ligaments? Suppose here one joint, here one bone is there, here one bone is there, here it is a joint. Okay. So when the two bones are attached, they are simply attached. They are attached with the ligaments. Okay. Now, this one, tendons. I already told about the tendons, right? Tendons. Strong fibers with which muscles are attached to the bones. They are strong muscles. Okay. These are the strong muscles which are attached to the bones. They are called as tendons and they have the importance. Okay. Next, cardiac muscles. They are cardiac muscles. The cardiac muscles, these are the muscles of the heart. So do you know the cardiac muscles are very strong and it pumps a lot of blood. Okay. So they are the muscles which are around the heart. They are called as a cardiac muscles. Okay. Now I want to explain about the two types of muscles. What are they? Voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles in which we have the control. Suppose I am moving the hands, blinking of eyes, and I am talking. Okay, I am walking. So these are in our control. They are called as involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles. Involuntary muscles are those muscles which we don't have need in order. Like I am breathing continuously. It is going on. Okay, the pumping of heart. It is continuous. That is cardiac muscles. Yes, it is pumping of blood. Continuously, it is going on. Okay. So that is the involuntary muscles. Okay. So thank you, children, for today's this one. I want you to do the mass the column here. So here, mass the column. Vertebral column, what are this? Knee, what is this? Rib cage, what is that? And skull, what is it? So this mass the column you need to do, and please send it to the WhatsApp group. Thank you, children.
Body movements and joints. In this module, you will learn about body movements and joints. You do different exercises in your yoga classes at school. For doing these exercises, you do different types of movements. For example, moving your arms and legs, forward bending, shoulder rotation, and many more. You can do these movements easily because your body is flexible. Such flexibility in our body is due to the presence of joints. Do you know what a joint is? Well, a joint is actually a place where two bones are joined together. Rest your hand against your knee, shoulder, or your fingers. You can feel your joints there. Not all joints allow movements. On the basis of whether the joint helps in the movement or not, these joints can be categorized into two types: immovable and movable. The immovable joints are the joints that allow no movement of the body parts. These are also called fixed joints. Such joints are found in the skull. Except the joints present in the skull, all other joints found in the body are movable. Movable joints are the joints that help in the movement of the body parts. Movable joints are further of four different types. They are hinge joint, ball and socket joint, pivot joint, and gliding joint. Let us learn about these joints one by one. Let us first learn about the hinge joint. A hinge joint is very similar to a door hinge. You can see that the door hinge allows the opening and closing of the door in two directions. Similarly, a hinge joint in the body also allows the movement in two directions, that is, forward and backward, or upward and downward. The elbow and knee joints are the two examples of the hinge joint. Let us now learn about the ball and socket joint. In the ball and socket joint, the end of one bone acts like a ball. This bone fits into another bone, which acts as a socket. Hence, the joint is called the ball and socket joint. This arrangement allows easy movement of the body parts in all the directions. The hip joint and shoulder joint are the two examples of the ball and socket joint. The next type of joint is the pivot joint. In this type of joint, one of the bones acts like a cylinder and fits into the end of the other bone, which is like a ring. Hence, the first bone rotates inside the ring and allows easy movement of the body part in different directions. An example of a pivot joint is the neck joint. The pivot joint allows the movement of neck sideways, upward and downward. It even allows the rotation of the neck. The last type of joint is the gliding joint. This type of joint allows the bones to glide over each other and hence allows slight movement of the body parts. In this type of joint, the joint bones are flat and so they slide back and forth and side to side. Ankle joint and wrist joint are some examples of the gliding joint. Now, there is a special tissue that holds the two bones of a joint in position. This is called ligament. There is another soft tissue that covers a joint from outside. This is called cartilage. The bones are not visible from outside. So, in case of an injury, doctors use X-rays to check any damage of our bones. X-rays are the special rays that help to create the image of bones using radiations. Let's recap. A joint is a place where two bones are joined together. Joints can be categorized as movable and immovable joints. The immovable joints or the fixed joints are the joints that allow no movement of the body parts. Movable joints are the joints that help in the movement of the body parts. Hinge joint, ball and socket joint, pivot joint, and gliding joint are the four types of movable joints.